Here are 15 of the best Ask Reddit stories for today. I hope you enjoy and remember to subscribe. It really helps us out. We post new videos every day.
Uber drivers, what's the deepest secrets you've overheard in your car? One time I was driving a dude for a bit of a long trip, was gonna take around 25 to 30 minutes. He wasn't hammered, but definitely a bit drunk. It was late and he must have been feeling a bit down, so he confided in me and asked me for some advice. He told me he's madly in love with his fiance's best friend and he couldn't back out now. He'd been with this girl for years, and engaged for one, ready to be married in a few months. It was pretty sad to hear, because it wasn't just your average story. It was filled with a lot of subtle emotional and mental anguish. The guy went through about 5 years of ups and downs with his girl, and found an innocent friend and comfort in the best friend. After a few years, he developed feelings and it was just downhill from there. Felt bad for the guy because he seemed like he was truly in love with his fiancée too, although he had strong feelings for this friend. He knew that going through with the marriage meant a lifetime of being around the friend and suppressing feelings, but also breaking it off meant that he lost the girl of his dreams. Seemed like a genuinely nice guy, and I hope he's doing okay.
What is the most unethical, but legal, way to get rich quick? There's a lot of grandiose plans on here, but I've got one that you can start with just a few $1,000s. Go to your state's treasury website. There you can see properties that are overdue on property tax. In most states, if you pay that overdue property tax, the owner of the property typically has a time limit to pay you back your money, or forfeit the property. What this means is, worst case, you get your money back plus interest. But more than likely, if you're able to target someone going through bankruptcy, they'll end up having to forfeit their property to you. Then you can sell it once a new deed or title is issued by the state, typically for significantly more than the back taxes you paid for it. There are some issues. If it's someone's primary residence, you'll pretty much have to hire a lawyer to fight them on squatters' rights. If it's a car, good luck ever finding it. They'll just drive away and be in trouble next time they get pulled over.
Secondary properties are ideal, but those don't come along super often, as people who can afford multiple properties usually know enough to pay their taxes. Anyways, you can start with cars for a few $100s. Houses and other properties cost a few thousand. If you don't mind being a scumbag kicking people out of their homes when they're at one of the lowest points in their life, it can be quite lucrative.
What's your secret that could literally ruin your life if it came out? I once helped out my female friend's family by taking care of their cat for a week. Every day for a week, I would go over there and snoop around their house. I found my friend's diary, and proceeded to read the entire thing. I used this information to get her to like me, and she is currently my wife. I cut off all contact with everyone I know and moved to Kenya. I tell people a fake name and a fake background and it made it appear to my family that I died on boat trip in the Pacific. No, I am not joking. I am dead in the United States. I accidentally killed 7 people. I put a rag into a new water heater exhaust to keep debris out and installed it in a rental. I get a call a week later, there's been an accident. I show up and there's a ton of EMS and police. They ask me where the gas shutoff is, and I go down to shut the gas off and see the end of the rag I forgot sticking out of the top of the heater. Rip the rag out, shut the gas off and head upstairs only to be told all the tenants were dead. I drink all day now and sleep. It's killing me from the inside every single day, but if I say anything my family is ruined. We have a bunch of rental properties and we'd be shut down. Legendary Reddit post/comment can you still not get over? The story of you/Jason in hell is one of the saddest stories that I have read on the internet. If you guys don't know the story, you/Jason in hell was a fellow Reddit user that posted his story regarding his wife's cheating with his neighbor on r/relationship advice. r/relationship advice told him that he will be better off divorcing his wife than to deal with her. A few days later he posts something on r/legal advice to see how he can secure custody of his 2 children during the divorce. His wife, named Brandy Worley, found the r/legal advice thread. The same day she found the Reddit post, she kills both kids to spite her soon-to-be ex-husband. Brandy then calls 911 telling the operator that she stabbed herself and her 2 children because her husband was divorcing her. The call was recorded with Brandy showing no remorse or emotion during the call. This whole situation was unfolding live on Reddit and 4chan. Brandy was given 120 years in prison with the jury saying she doesn't regret her decision not one bit. Has there ever been a time where a simple yes or no decision saved your life? I was 7 years old and was in Belfast with my aunt getting new clothes for school. We were heading into a store called BHS, or British Home Stores. While we were walking through the door, a man turned around to me and said, "Hey kids, do you want to live forever?" I replied no, and he said then take the lift. My aunt grabbed my hand, and we stepped into the elevator. When the doors closed there was this huge boom. And the doors made the weirdest noise. Then the elevator stopped. I heard all this screaming, and sirens going off, and was terrified. My aunt just held me close and said everything would be fine, and not to worry. Around 2-3 hours later, when the firemen managed to get the doors opened, the place was a mess. 4 bombs had been detonated inside the security gates. British Home Stores took the brunt of the blasts.
What started as a joke but became a legitimate thing. Several months ago I was pulled over by a county sheriff, of course for an expired sticker on my license plate. Didn't even know my registration was expired. He happened to catch a peek at my wallet, which had numerous of my friends' old expired school IDs. He claimed it was the beginning stage of identity theft and took my IDs from me. All of my friends personally gave them to me as an inside joke, and I keep them in my wallet cause it's funny for memories? I don't know. Anyways, he was just fishing for anything he could possibly have against me. Started asking about an old license plate from a car I don't even own anymore. And just overall being a dick. He said if I wanted them back I would need a court order or to have all of my friends ask for them back since it was their property. I jokingly said to my GF, who was there with me the whole time, that I should be petty and make a legal case against him. But then I started thinking that I could just ask my friends to come to the station with me and demand the IDs back. Couple months later we head to the sheriff's office and ask for them back. Turns out he shredded them not thinking anything would come of it. We're now in the beginning stages of filing a destruction of property suit against the station all because this guy was being an asshole during a regular traffic stop.
I dumped my girlfriend after she told me about her sexual past in college. To make a long story short, we were playing a drinking game with some friends and she admitted to having at least 2 threesomes during college and sleeping with around 13 guys. To be honest, I never asked her about her past before, cause I just thought it was whatever. But damn, something about hearing that made me squeamish. I don't think I'll ever recover honestly. I know some people are gonna call me a misogynistic or a shamer, but I honestly couldn't care less. I knew I could never recover or move past what I heard. I broke up with her next day and said I hope you find someone right for you one day. She obviously started crying and she's still texting me, but I'm already mentally checked out. I'm 24, so I know I got a full life ahead of me.
I think I'm going to jail for defending my husband. I messed up big time today. For context, I'm 22 and my husband is the same age. He has autism. He is very handsome, so I guess for some reason people don't expect it, because I guess handsome people can't be autistic or vice versa, which is bull crap. Anyways, I'm pregnant. We walked to the park today and he brought his colored pencils and was drawing me a picture of the trees at the little table. While he did that I got work phone call I had to take and walked away while I took it. When I came back this other woman, maybe 25 to 30 years old, was totally bullying him. She said something like, "This is a grown man, look at this. It looks like an effing toddler drew it. Oh my god, this is hilarious." When I was walking back he said something like, "I don't know, I was trying my best." And she called him the R word and I was so angry. How dare that woman insult my husband? I was so mad I was shaking, and for the first time in my entire life, I punched someone as hard as I could. I did it right in the side of the chin and she even fell, and then before I could do anything else, a random lady pulled me off of her. I told my husband to go home, cops got called, and now I have to go to court. I think I'm gonna—
Girlfriend keeps talking about our roommate's PP size. We're all mid-20s and yes, this is as messed up as it sounds. 3 months ago we rented out our spare bedroom to one of my girlfriend's old high school friends. We weren't looking for a new roommate, but her friend needed a place urgently, and since I kinda already knew him I agreed. He's been a decent roommate overall, however he has this weird habit of walking from his bedroom to the shower across the hall exposed every evening. The first few times I saw him I was kinda freaked out, but now I know his schedule so I just avoid the hallway around 6 p.m. And since my girlfriend works evenings she never had the displeasure of seeing him parading across the hall. Obviously I told her about it and she thought it was hilarious. Long story short, my girlfriend saw him parading to the bathroom a couple days ago when she was home, and ever since then she constantly brings up the size of his PP. Obviously I never stared at it long, but it's pretty noticeable that he's on the larger side. After hearing about it several times I eventually asked her if she could stop talking about it, but she hasn't. And anytime I try to tell her to just stop she says I'm just being jealous. And I don't really know how to handle this messed up situation. I honestly feel slightly humiliated.
I overheard my husband talking about me. His co-workers, both women, came over, so I said hi, spent some time with them, and after some time went to my room to take a nap. As a maybe semi-important piece of context, my self-esteem is so low it's already great friends with the dust on the floor. My husband knows this. At one point, he entered the room that's next to ours to look for something with one of the co-workers. That's where I keep my sketchbooks, notebooks and books. I heard she was taking a look at my stuff and my man started saying things like, "Yeah, she also draws nicely, and her style is super unique. Those are her books, she's so smart and talented, I'm so lucky to have her." Then they left, and my heart was absolutely melting. Neither of us has mentioned it, so I kept it as my little secret. He'll read this eventually cause he checks out my Reddit profile now and then, but I wanted to share it. I just love to hear that's the way he talks about me when I'm not there with him.
Introverts, how did you meet your girlfriend? She came over to me in a coffee shop while she was on vacation in my country, to ask how to tip. We had a 2-hour conversation, and then an amazing 5-hour lunch 2 days later. She complained about her hostel and I offered her my spare bedroom. She accepted. Nothing happened, although it seems crystal clear in retrospect that we were falling for each other. Duh, I didn't want to be douchey and make her feel uncomfortable under my roof, so putting the moves on her was not something I seriously considered. 2 nights later, I had to be gone for most of the night, on a work assignment, and I asked if she would please watch and walk my dog in my absence. I came home at 5 a.m. and was greeted by my suddenly very soft, very fluffy dog. She had somehow understood "will you please wash my dog," and apparently didn't find that a strange request at all. The next evening, After we'd been talking over a bottle of wine for hours, it seemed she'd had enough of my apparent indecisiveness. Took the wine glass out of my hand, put it down, and leaned in for a kiss. That was 26 years ago. We've been married 23 years. What are some unethical life hacks? Give fake money to homeless people. They will thank you for it, but also when they get arrested and taken to jail, it'll reduce the number of homeless people in your area. Having an affair? Change your lover's contact name in your phone to scam likely, so your primary partner won't question why you're getting so many calls. If you want to spy on anyone secretly, there are devices out there that basically have invisible hidden cameras built into the charger. Edit, since everyone was asking, I got mine at thespycharger.com. When you give someone a gift card as a gift, write down the card number and code. Then after a year or two, check the balance, and if they hadn't used it yet, just use it yourself. They obviously won't know or care. If you need to lie about something, include an embarrassing unnecessary detail. After all, why would you intentionally lie to make yourself look bad? Learn how to read Braille and create a cheat or answer sheet for a test and put it in your hoodie pocket. You can feel the answers with your fingers without looking away from your test.
Americans that visited Europe, what was the biggest shock for you? This may sound weird, but how much they ate. Americans are the fat ones who eat too much, so the stereotype goes, but I took a semester in rural Germany in middle school, and this is how it went: breakfast, morning break, snack, lunch, afternoon break, snack, snacks in town after school, let out, dinner when got home, and occasionally this late night meal when my host parents got home, etc. Don't get me wrong, all of it was more fresh and 10 times better than the literal plastic Americans think is owed to eat on a normal basis. But I was constantly full for like the first week because I was too awkward not to eat the snacks my host mom had packed. Eventually ended up refusing things, and my host sister thought I was sick because I wasn't eating every time the group was or something. Ironically, I actually lost weight during the trip, probably because the food is just generally better for you. We did live on a farm too, so it was insanely fresh. And now that I'm on a diet, I fucking hate the sugar thing. I'm constantly checking labels, and it's almost impossible to find anything without added sugar. It's exasperating. Mental health professionals of Reddit, what is the saddest case of wow, this person really effed up because of how they were treated during their childhood you have ever come across? Had a kid show up in my office saying he had not eaten all day. You missed his bus and just seemed to not want to leave. I call home and mom was not answering. The parents were divorced, so I called dad. It was about 8:00 p.m. by this point. Dad answers and is obviously drunk off at his ass at a bar. I heard the noise and music. I explain the situation and the dad says he will get someone to drive him to come pick him up. He never showed up. About 10 p.m. on a Tuesday or something now, so I call the police and they assist. Learn that the mother had OD on medicine and was found dead in the house. The father never showed up, and I was told he never tried to be a part of the kid's life. This kid had some terrible facial disfiguration from birth due to the mother using drugs and drinking during pregnancy. I have no idea how the kid was never removed from custody. I spent a lot of time with him because he didn't like people looking at him throughout the school day. I didn't give a F about his grades, I just wanted him to enjoy something in life. He's dead now. He took his own life.
Excuse me, you need a license to be that cute. You're way over the legal limit. I'm gonna need to see some registration. Oh, no, I'm sorry, officer. I seem to have left my purse at home. I don't have my license or registration. Pow, 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 reload, pow, pow.
What's your go-to joke when someone says, tell me a joke? This lady was pregnant with triplets. She had to go to the bank, but the bank got robbed while she was there. She got shot 3 times in the belly, once in each baby. They were able to save the babies, but couldn't remove the bullets. She had 2 girls and a boy. They were growing up normally, so she figured she would keep the traumatic story to herself. 15 years later, daughter comes running down the stairs. Mom, you're never going to believe it. Mom says, what? Daughter says, I was going pee, and I pissed a bullet. Mom says, okay, I guess you're old enough. Sit down, I'll tell you the story. Next day, second daughter comes running down the stairs. Mom, you're never going to believe it. Mom says, what? Daughter says, I was going pee and I pissed a bullet. Mom says, okay, I guess you're old enough. And I told your sister. Sit down, I'll tell you the story. Next day, son comes running down the stairs. Mom, you're never going to believe it. Mom says, I know you were going pee and you pissed a bullet. Son says, no, Mom, I was jerking off and I shot the dog.